think I wouldn't use the word trends. I think it's really more the evolution of the design and construction industry, and the idea of a trend suggests that it's somehow a fad or a temporary thing that's going to change, and the way we see it, this is the beginning, or actually the continuation of an evolution of design and construction in which sustainable issues will become just the normal way of doing business. As Asia becomes more and more like the rest of the world in terms of development, I think you'll see that sustainability isn't a passing trend or a fad or anything that's going to go away. It'll just become the normal way of doing business. Being pragmatic, it sounds like it's a bad thing or it's somehow a compromise, but in many ways it's about being realistic and designing realistically for what that group or that culture or that company or frankly that family can manage. So I think we look at all the various aspects in terms of the appetite, the aptitude, the ability of a company, of a group, of a city, of a culture to incorporate some of these issues and strategies, and how well will they be able to not just construct them, but use them, maintain them, and evolve with them. I think you have to look at how do we get there and what are the steps that allow us to get there. So the net zero building that we might envision for a city such as Singapore could be different from the net building that we envision in, say, Saigon or Jakarta or other places where it might be more of a challenge. So what we like to do is to look at all the different components of what contributes to emissions or what can help to modify or reduce or eliminate the emissions, and then decide how our building can participate in a reduction of those. And it's important to remember that emissions generally come from some other kind of activity. So we try to take a couple of steps backwards and take a holistic view of where these things are coming from, why they're there, what are the opportunities for reducing or mitigating their impact, and then how our building can work within those different boundaries or constructs. Sustainability is all about staying power. We look at sustainability in terms of both the lightening of the impact, the durability of the thing, the culture, the people, and the resiliency of that place or that object or that group. And so trying to look at the relevance and the cultural impacts and how that helps a building or a city or a place evolve and stay in place is really important. You know, I think the myth of the higher costs of sustainability is exactly that it's a myth. It was, I would argue, and agree is probably true 10 years ago, but the reality is today most of these materials are being produced in Asia. Most of these materials are easily or readily available. The second part of that conversation is getting the topic of sustainability on the table as early as possible and making sure that clients understand that the greatest opportunity to make an impact and to have sustainable choices built in is to make those decisions up front at the very beginning when you're programming and conceptualizing the building and understanding what is important, what will be included, what won't be included, and to optimize those decisions with sustainable strategies or materials or systems or whatever from the very beginning. So there's a case where the sustainable strategy aligns with a desired economic outcome, and we can demonstrate how each step that we take towards greater and greater sustainability will have greater and greater economic benefit and payoff. And so therefore it's easy to look at the cost of whatever premium they may pay for a super efficient skin or a more efficient cooling system or something that would help them to lower their overall exposure. And even if the economic impacts of electricity drop, that building will still be more efficient in time going forward. You know, in many cases, I think clients in Asia and frankly all over the world are able to understand that sustainability and economic benefit are often closely aligned and can complement each other.